Hello, everyone. My name is Weiyu. I am a senior at Round Rock High School, and I got accepted into Carnegie Mellon University, applied physics major. So first, thank you everyone for being here and listening to Daniel and myself talk about our college application and admission process and thoughts.
走走走，咱们去散步。
I would love to thank Junior Coach Association for giving me such a great opportunity to volunteer and enrich my leadership skills throughout high school. I really benefited a lot from all my experiences with Junior Coach, no matter if it's tutoring, coaching, or just managing the chapters. I felt like I learned a lot of lessons that would benefit me in my future life. Next, I would like to give a few tips to students who are going to apply to college in the future. Junior Coach Association will provide you with so many different experiences, not only from community service hours, but a lot of important lessons that will benefit you. I have so many different topics to choose from my Junior Coach experience that I could have written in my college application essay. This is such a huge beneficial factor because it is a very unique experience just to yourself that could not really be copied by anyone else. So that's what the college admission officers are looking at, is your own experience. And I feel like with Junior Coach, everything is what you physically have done. So you could write a lot more in depth about all the events that happened during your time with Junior Coach Association. I really cherish all the opportunities I've gotten from Junior Coach Association. And also I received awards from Junior Coach Association as well. Every year, Junior Coach Association will give out awards to tutors who worked hard all year to get to where they need to be, and also volunteering awards, which are also a huge part of the application process. So I felt like Junior Coach has provided me a lot of help throughout my application processes, and I really thank the association for what they have done for me. Next, I'm going to move on to some personal stuff about applications, some of my personal tips, as well as just what I experienced during the application process. So I would like to tell everyone who will apply to college in the near future, please fill out your application as soon as possible, because there are going to be some random stuff that just pop up during your application that you have to deal with before you submit everything. So for example, you prepare all your essays and your awards listed out and everything, and you're just getting ready to fill out your application, but you suddenly saw that there was another financial aid you might need to fill out during the application. Or there might be a signature from school you need in order to apply. So I would definitely recommend getting ready for the application as early as possible. Next, for the application essays, I would strongly encourage you write about something that you truly know, not just something that sounds fancy or looks fancy to the application office. For example, myself, I wrote a lot about my own community service experiences. Those might not be the most fancy activities I could have done, but they are something that I learned a few important lessons from, which I think really touched the admission officers. And I think that's a huge factor why I got accepted into CMU like I did. Lastly, I guess just keep working hard in your schoolwork, because school GPA is definitely a huge factor in college application. Even though they're recommending SAT, like not requiring it, I would say having a good SAT score will also help your chances of getting admitted into a college. Yeah, so that's about all I'm going to say. I wish everyone luck in their application process next year. And I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you guys. Thank you guys. Daniel, you want to take over from here?
Yeah, I can.
All right, you got it.
Thank you. So a lot of what you said covers pretty much what I was going to say about the admission process. one thing I have to say that I think is really important to the admissions process is the essays. So especially now, like in California, the UC schools, they're this year at least they were test blind, and I think a lot more schools over the nation might be moving towards that. So writing a good essay is very important. As Weiyu said, writing about something that you're truly passionate about, because a lot of people will be writing about like their like computer science or something if they want to go into computer science, or their love of computers. But sometimes that's not necessarily the route that you actually have to go through, because sometimes it might be good if there's something else that you're passionate about, like even like nature, cooking, stuff like that. That'll be create a unique essay for you, and it can help you stand out from others. I think another part of the admission process that's very important is extracurriculars. So it shows the colleges that you're showing demonstrated interest in whatever you're trying to do. So like for me, I'm going into computer science, and I took many summer camps throughout high school, like ID Tech, or I did like machine learning courses over the summer, and did a few like independent projects, just doing things to show that show the colleges that that's what you're actually interested in. I think that's pretty much it for me. Those are the two main things that I think are very important.
I guess anyone have any questions about college admission process? Please feel free to ask me and Daniel about whatever they want to know from the process. Can you please tell us some of your stats, GPA? All right, sure. So my school is this GPA based on technically a 6.0 scale, because 6.0 is the max you could get. If you take all AP classes, make all the hundreds as a 6.0. And then if you get a 99 as a 5.9, I guess, average. So based on that, my weighted GPA is a 5.73. And my unweighted GPA based on a 4.0 scale is a 4.0. Is that what you want to know? Oh, EC means extracurricular, I guess. So, yeah, I joined a lot of clubs at my school, also held a lot of positions in those clubs at my school. And of course, I'm the vice president of technology for Junior Coach Association. I'm also the Texas chapter president. Yeah, that's about it for my extracurricular leadership positions. And research-wise, I do a lot of golf-related research on my own, which I also wrote about in my college application essay, because that's what I'm truly passionate about. Yeah, that's about it for me. Daniel, would you like to share yours?
Yeah, sure. So my GPA scales on a 5.0 scale. My GPA was a 4.55. For extracurriculars, I was a Boy Scout, so I got my Eagle Scout. I did a lot of summer camps, as I said, about like coding summer camps. I did this thing called Inspire AI, working on AI projects for social good. I did a Columbia summer program about machine learning. And obviously I did junior coach. I did some other volunteering, like this thing called Living Arroyos, where basically we just cleaned up like local rivers and stuff in our area. And I was in a bunch of clubs at school, like the cybersecurity club, math club. Yeah, I think that's pretty much about it.
All right. Anyone, how many extracurriculars do you think is a good amount? Well, I mean, there isn't really a scale for that. I would say just whatever you're passionate about or you have an interest in, if you have time, just go for it. Because even if you cannot write about it in the college application essay, it's always good to know more than know less, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really say like there is a requirement for how many extracurriculars you need to apply to college, but it's just about showing yourself and representing yourself to the admission officers. What do you recommend for those in middle school to help them prepare for the years ahead, like preparing for high school? I would say just make sure you listen in class, do all your work as needed, get a good grade. And because that's a fundamental of getting into a good college is you need to have a decent GPA to pass for their at least requirement line. I would say so. Yeah, just do a lot of extracurriculars during high school, play some sports just to exercise and make sure they don't get sick, because health is definitely another huge part of our high school careers, I guess. So, yeah, basically just work hard and they should be successful. Daniel, any tips for some middle schooler to prep for high school?
Yeah. I think that when you're in middle school, you don't necessarily have to know exactly what you want to do. In middle school, I think you should really explore like different areas. Try to figure out what you like. So find something that you're passionate in. So when you get to high school, when you're doing extracurriculars and stuff, it'll be stuff that you're very passionate about and that you'll enjoy. So it's more like fun and less work.
All right. Yeah. Does that answer your question pretty clearly? I think we approach it from two different views, because one view is more of like, what should do extracurricular, and one is like what you should do in school. Yeah. Anyone else have any questions?
And I do. How did you decide which teachers to write you recommendation letters? And for the counselor, how did you make sure that the counselor will write the things that you would like to present to the colleges?
Okay, yeah, great question. So for me, myself, I asked my English teacher and my math teacher to write me a recommendation letter, because I was thinking that I needed 2 core class teachers, which is normally what they will recommend. So 2 core class teachers to write you the recommendation letter. And I want to present myself from different angles and different perspectives. So I asked one of the literary teachers, which is just more to the English side of my study, and a math teacher which is more towards the math, science, that side of my study. So I felt like that'll present myself more thoroughly to colleges. And also for teachers or counselors to write your recommendation letter, you will give them an outline of what you want them to write, because they have to write thousands of recommendation letters. So, which if you don't give them an outline, they have a huge chance of messing up. So I would strongly recommend giving them an outline of what you want them to say. And normally they will just say it, because it is a lot less work on their side. Okay. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Oh, definitely. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. Someone else. Do you have any USACO experience? What is that? Might need like the whole name for that, because I do not know what that is. So probably no. Do you think applying for speech and debate is sufficient for high school and applying for college? Okay, so let me answer that one first. So speech and debate, it's a great club. It's definitely beneficial for the future life, and it is a part of the extracurricular you can write about during your application process. So I'll say if you have the chance to go for the club, then definitely go for it. I wouldn't say it's necessarily helpful for applying for college, but if you have it, it's definitely better than if you don't have it. So I would say if you have the chance to join any club in your school, just make sure you go for it, because that's always an extra thing to write on your extracurricular activity. All right. USA Computing Olympiad. Nope, I did not do that. I play golf, so I did not have time for that.
I also did not do Yusuko.
All right. Perfect. All right. And Daniel, do you think applying for speech and debate is efficient for high school and applying for college?
I don't think it's too necessary. Like, I didn't do any speech and debate. But it's definitely a good club to have. I think lots of times you just want to join clubs that are related to what you're interested in.
Okay, yeah. I do agree with you on that. All right. Any other questions? Anyone, just feel free to unmute or type in the chat.
I remember one of you or both of you are or were the leaders of the clubs. So how do you present what the club does, and the body of the club? Is it necessary to mention to the college admission officer that how many people are there in your club and what type of things and how frequently you meet?
Oh, wait. Like you're talking about school clubs or junior coach clubs?
All kinds of clubs, because what you do, you want to present it to the college admission officer to describe who you are and what you are passionate about. How do you present those? Because some clubs, it's very related to your area of interest, but you may not do it every week. And maybe you only have 4 people in your team. But on the other hand, for other clubs, you may not, be as interested in the activities, but you meet every week, and it has a massive body of group members.
Okay, yeah. So I actually understand your question now. So like, let's say I'm applying for applied physics major, right? And I had an English reading club that had 100 students, and we meet every week. And another side, we have a physics research club, which only have 3 members, and we meet, let's say, once every 2 months, right? Like, is that how what you're saying is like, how would I balance those two in my essay?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yeah, so for sure. So you can definitely write about both in the same essay. Just make sure you scramble the stats together. So like, let's say I would write like this, like I joined 2 clubs, this and that. And then I spend this many hours on it, on the 2 clubs every month or a week or so, like that. You just have to average it out a little bit. And then you focus on what is more interesting to you or what's more related to your major.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
That's very clever. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because you definitely have to mention both clubs, and you don't want to show a significant disadvantage you have in one club over the other. So I would just say mention 2 clubs equally in the introduction paragraph. And then in the body paragraph, just talk more about what you did. Like, let's say the example I gave, the English reading club and the applied physics club. Then I'll say talk more about the applied physics club activities in order to better present yourself and your knowledge on physics to admission officers. Because essentially what they're looking at is not the stat, like how often you did it. It's what you learned from it.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Thank you.
Yep. Anyone have questions?
May I ask a question?
Yes.
So you mentioned that junior coach, you have benefit a lot from this organization. Can you introduce or maybe more elaborate? How does it help you?
Okay, yeah. So of course, I myself, as the vice president of technology and the Texas chapter president, I could definitely write about these in my essays, which give colleges a presentation of my leadership skills. And I did found Junior Coach Association's Texas chapter, which so yeah, I founded that from scratch, which is also a huge part of my essay that I could write about. And other than that, like I founded the Engineering Design Club, which I think I've hosted 3 sessions where I taught little kids to make robots and miniature trains using a software called Autodesk. From there, I even enhanced my own knowledge of Autodesk while teaching, which I feel like is a huge help for myself and my future life. And the more important lessons are just learned from tutoring and coaching golf. Because pre-COVID, we used to do golf coaching as well. And I just love interacting with little kids and hear about the world from their perspective more, which I feel like it's more beneficial for my own self than for my college application part. So I felt like that junior coach would give everyone a great platform to really show everyone else what they know, and or if they want, they can learn from anyone else they want. So I felt like that's the more important part than actually just merely college application itself, if that makes sense to you. Yes,
thank you.
Yep.
And can I add one more question?
Yes, go for it.
Is it hard for some kids, because some the personalities are different for everyone, and some are easy to present themselves in front of public, but others may feel a little awkward or nervous. From your own experience or from your peers at junior coach, do you find it's beneficial, or do you find it easy for you to make the first step and beneficial to keep going, continue doing this?
So you're talking about like tutoring, like one-on-one tutoring with different kids. Some kids are more shy, and some kids are more outspeaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as well as the tutor himself or herself for different personality. Do you think it's possible for every personality to do tutoring? Because I have 2 kids. One is more open, the other one is more introvert. So I'm worrying about the one that is usually shy and quiet.
Okay, yeah. So myself, I'm a more outspoken person. So I did not find it too hard to get started with tutoring, but I was super nervous during my first lesson because the kid I was tutoring was more shy and didn't tend to talk as much. So because of that, I had to encourage her to speak up and tell me what she's thinking about, like, every question we go through and every problem, if she understood or didn't understand. So I guess, so as tutors, I have to approach different students at different ways because of their personality differences. I think that's what a tutor has to adapt to. And that's also a part of a huge lesson I learned during this, is that I need to learn to deal with different types of people, which will benefit me in my future life. So I guess that's as a tutor's perspective to students. But like as a tutor, I actually know a tutor who's more shy, like more on the shy side, and less likely to just talk like myself. Which, it's going to be a little harder for them to get started with the process because they might feel more nervous or more strange the first few lessons. But after they have lessons, like a few lessons, I felt like they would get adapted to it a lot faster, which will definitely help the process.
Thank you. That's reassuring.
All right. Andrew texted me a question. What does CMU like? It's a smaller school, so like it's an NCAA Division III school for golf, at least. So so it's gonna be a lot more quiet campus, and it's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so it's cold. That's all I could recall from Carnegie Mellon. And what are some of your golf related achievements? I guess just tournament finishes, like first place tournament finish. Yeah, and I'm the MVP of the high school golf team. Yeah. Daniel, what is CMU like? Someone asked a question.
I have only visited there once, but it's a pretty nice campus. They've built some more modern buildings, like they have a new apartment style dorm that was just built. There's the Pittsburgh City. The Pittsburgh City is a bit smaller. It's not like a really big city, but it's still fairly large. Like if you're from the Bay Area, it's kind of like Oakland. But there's also other colleges around, so it won't be too boring. There'll be a lot of people and college students to interact with.
All right, does that answer your question, Andrew? Okay, yes. All right. Is a sport must for accepting into selective colleges? I mean, if you're not going there for the sport, I would say no, it's not a must. But I mean, as I said, if you do more sport, then you are more likely to have more events or experiences happening during the high school career to write about in your essay, which is always good. For me, I wrote a lot about my golf and golf research in my main essay. So, I felt like golf is super beneficial to myself in college application process. In addition to golf, does junior coach offer other sports tutoring? Daniel, do you know about that? I don't know about that. I don't think so.
Sports are really not a must. I know a lot of people don't play sports and they just get in on academics. Sports does help though. Like you can get into a really good college just off of sports and not be the most academically talented person. But it's really not a must. It's just something good to have fun, a break from academics all of the time and something to help you keep in shape.
And all right, thank you guys for being here today. We really appreciate y'all's presence. And I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting right now. I hope to talk to you guys more about my college life in the future. So see you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.